going?
Hey, how's it going, Robert?
All right. Yeah, I'm just driving on my way home, so I'm gonna get it on mute here real quick.
Okay. All right. Very
Okay.
good. Very
Be
good.
home in about 3 minutes.
Morning.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Happy. Any good April Fool's jokes yet today?
Hello?
Hello. Hey, Robert. Robert Senior.
Yeah, Robert Senior's here. Who else is here? I can't see because I have the phone up to my ear.
Oh, okay. Looks like Ito's on. We got Buddy on.
Oh, wow.
I
Bruce.
just got
Bruce is
here.
on.
Hey guys, April Fools! Happy April
April
Fools!
Fools. Right. What's the one? Pull my finger. I think something like that.
Is it April Fool's in Europe already?
What?
Oh,
Yeah. Did they do
they-
it? Hey,
It
Ito.
don't get up here. It don't get up to the Rockies until sometime about 8 o'clock tonight. We're slow here.
Do they do April Fools in the Netherlands, Ida?
Oh, yes,
Yeah. Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. All right.
It's a dangerous day.
It is. It is. You're right.
Fools don't
Look
speak
at
up.
the news, think twice. Some university here in the Netherlands came out with news today about a smart bed.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
I'm highly suspicious there, for example.
Uh huh. Okay.
No smartphone, but a smart bed.
There's all kinds of ideas around that one.
I am going out to Dinosaur, Colorado today, and check on that store. So I might be able to get a little more thing on that done.
Oh,
But,
cool. How long?
Yeah,
how
it
long?
will-
How long a drive is that?
It's just a nice little jaunt to the store. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. So
Oh, okay.
it's,
Okay.
it's, it's like that's a short distance trip here, an hour and 20. But the two main streets are Highway 40 that comes through east and west, and then there's a highway that comes up. I don't know the number of it from Rangeley. It comes up from the south, and so they intersect right where this store is. There is the store. On the other side of it is a place called the Pickle Shop, and if you can look down and there's any pictures, you could probably see that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
on-
is it
it
across
comes
from the Loaf and Jug?
See the loaf and jug here. Yeah.
Oh, there's a pickle
The,
shop.
the Loaf and Jug is a terrible gas station that had a glass front on it that is now doors. I don't know if it was
I see
at
the
one
pickle
time.
shop. We
It-
just
well, the pickle shop is closed. That's on the highway. He moved a pickle shop that he had for 20 years selling pickles and ice cream. And I don't know how the hell a store stays open in that little town selling pickles and ice cream because there's not that many pregnant women driving through. So it never seemed logical to me, but it's like a junk store. He has collected things from garage sales for 30 years, and he sells T-shirts that he gets, and he has collected dinosaur bone fossils and different mineral fossils all his life, and he has boxes of those around. But the way he has it displayed is it's sort of like an Army Navy store, and he even says people come in and look around, but they never buy nothing. So you would know why. You're not really sure you want to touch half the stuff. So anyways, he's been there a long time, and he's like a stalwart of the town. I think he owns half of it. But
It's pretty classic.
both of these stores, the store that's next to it, not the pickle shop that's on the store that's a wooden one, the one that's next to it that has a real nice front porch, and it's empty, and it was the fossil shop for about 15 years, and it closed about that long ago. So it's been sitting there. It has all the old hardwood cabinets in it and everything else for displaying rocks. And he wants to put in some of his stuff on consignment. And I'm pretty sure that I can talk to Michael Armstrong. I don't know if anybody knows who he is, but he was really one of the main players with the Thunderbolts up as long as 20 years ago.
He
was
does all the
person-
publishing on hard copy for them. Yeah.
Yeah, he publishes and has the ownership rights to all of the tapes, the CDs that are sold. And he was doing very well with that, and he was at the 13, 14, 15, all those seminars for the Thunderbolts. But I think he told me when we would talk, and we talked for hours, I think, before I even, Bob and I contacted the Thunderbolts in August of 17. I had talked to Michael Armstrong a lot of times, and we got to be pretty good friends and argue quite heavily about stuff. But he's a philosopher. And one time I'm talking to him, and I said to him, when we opened the phone up, I said, I wanted to ask you a question about philosophy. And I said, as talking to you, Michael, you sound like a person who has studied philosophy an awful long time. And he goes real silent. He says to me, Bob, I don't study philosophy. I'm a philosopher.
Right.
So
Right.
I think I understood the point. So, anyways, he's published. He has articles on the Thunderbolt. So one of them was called "What Is Time." I think David. I think you watched that one. What is time? And he explains his viewpoints on it. But at one of the conferences, I think it was 17, he sort of got into a philosophical argument with the scientific viewpoints, and I think he told me he was not invited to the next one. So I don't know. But the whole point would be he has a whole bunch of these tapes that nobody's hardly buying anymore because they're all listed on Facebook and YouTube for free. You can just watch them. But the families that come through there, most of them have never even heard of that. And the spontaneousness of us seeing them, I think they would sell there too. So I'm going to see if he wants to ship a load of those down. So I think we have an opportunity to have a place where it's not only shippable, so all the products we ship anywhere would be shipped out of Dinosaur, Colorado. The post office is right next door. I mean, it's directly across the alley from the shop.
Hey, see that store right there? The name on the front of it? You see that name on the front of it? You know what that means?
This one?
No.
Coprolite.
Coprolite. Mm-mm.
That's dinosaur turd.
Oh,
he has a thing.
all right.
Coprolite. Yeah, that's Dinosaur.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, nice.
Is that a store?
Well, that's appropriate.
Store you want to rent?
Yeah, he sells that there, but I don't know how much of it he has. It's kind of a faded out sign. There's also a Moki marble place that was in Roosevelt, Utah. It was the Moki trading spot, and I walked in there a couple years ago, and I said, "Do you have any Moki marbles?" And he said, "No, I haven't had any for years." So, but it was the Moki marble place, and I even think I gave him a couple packs because I felt sorry for the guy. But anyways,
If you put that together correctly, you could profit off of the tours. You know what I mean? Like, put it together, and then you make it a package deal, and you put the package deal together, and then people pay a set price, and then literally we have a place to do like a storefront of the Electric Universe on the planet. I don't know of a storefront for the Electric Universe, so you could start this.
Right,
Yeah,
and,
you
and it's
start
really
there.
it's a nice one because it's got like it's there, and then it's really not that expensive, and then it's ultimately a virtual storefront because it would be from anywhere, you know, where we are, right? But that's the central, you know, brick and mortar, you know, and it's got all that character to it.
It's your identity. You know, it's
Right.
like Enron had that building with the big E.
That's right.
So this looks rustic.
I
It
like the
looks a
scalar
cowboy
idea
store.
there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He has.
That's great.
It just is. It's going to be very good. And I was hoping that we'd be able to attract some other products from the Electric Universe and the Parat T-shirts and stuff like that, because that's what sells, and it sells on the internet through the Stickman on Stone. But the Stickman on Stone only attracts itself to people that are interested in looking at the Thunderbolts project, and there's a hell of a lot of people ain't never heard of that yet. But they do know dinosaurs, and they come through the tourists. And tourists are looking for something to look at. And so when they come there, if you have a sign up and say, the most unique rock on the planet, NASA says unique and singular, see it before it's gone. That's like that big ball of string that everybody stops to look at, and it ain't nothing but a big ball of string. But
You can get that donut, you know, the donut, and that would be the tourist thing. You ever see that?
right. The other thing is, you're 90 miles from Craig to the east. And so when you're driving from Craig, you're an hour and a half where there's maybe one gas station. Then when you're coming from Vernal, you're 30 or 40 miles away from gas stations. And so everybody, and coming up from the south, you're 50, 60
What's the nearest airport? What's the
So
nearest
that's,
airport?
what's that?
Nearest airport.
The nearest airport?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
international one, or
they have a Vernal airport, but it's
yeah,
one of
they have
those
small little
puddle
jumper
puddle
airports.
jumpers.
Probably Grand Junction, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grand Junction's close, and the people could fly into Grand Junction and leave from there, because if they started the trip, they'd have to catch we'd maybe have a shuttle. We could pick them up there, and drive them up to the starting point. The other way is you start them in Morrison, you could fly into Denver and out of Denver, and you start and stop in Morrison.
Looks like Salt Lake's even closer though, or Grand Junction's closer, but Salt Lake would be the alternative. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you
So
were going
how
to
many
have,
hour drive? How many hour drive are we talking?
From Salt Lake, you're looking at 3 hours, 3.5. From Grand Junction, it looks like about 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
That right there's your
Looking at
detriment. That's your detriment right there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean that's a hard detriment though.
Well, depending on if you look at it as a virtual thing versus, I mean, if you're going to go on a tour, if we're going to actually go on a tour, it's,
Well, yeah.
you know,
I mean, just for our tours, that's it. But
Yeah.
we're gonna do it
That's nothing
anyway
but a
because
tourist road. That's nothing but a tourist road now in oil rigs. And so that if you're out there, you're basically heading up to Dinosaur, or you're heading out to the Uena campgrounds and all that stuff, or you're heading up to Flaming Gorge, even for people that.
I mean,
you could
either way,
if you could,
either way, you wanna map out your detriments and your
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
your
Right, you still got to do that too. Yes.
yeah.
I mean, you could base
I lo-
the base, because it doesn't look like there's a whole grand, a bunch of hotel options there from my standpoint. But if you base it in Denver or Salt Lake City, as far as where it starts, and then you make the store part of the tour, itself.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then that way you don't have to go, in order to start, you got to get there. You start at like the city, and
So
then
you start
and then you make it part
Yeah.
of the tour.
That's a good idea as like a main point of the destination.
Right.
You know.
Right. So anyway,
the
it's
other
an
thing
idea.
that is that those tours,
Probably be flying out of Grand Junction, because Grand Junction's right there by Mohave, really.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the other spot. You go to, and see, if you have a 10-day tour, some people would want to come over from Europe and take the whole 10 days, because southwestern Utah and the Four Corners area is the Earth's premier spot, like Eugene said, in comparisons to Mars and studying Mars and the proof of the electrification of rocks on the moon and Mars. All those things are centered almost around here in Utah. And so a 10-day tour would attract a couple people, and you're not looking for 100. You're looking for maybe half a dozen to a dozen of interested people, and give them a whole week's tour that would be their life's joy. So that would start in Morrison and 7 days. But if you had people that wanted to come because let's say next year they're going to have the EU conference in Denver, well, you'd have people coming in for that, and they might want to go on a 1 or 2 day tour. So what they would do is they would fly from Denver to Grand Junction. We would pick them up there. They would have a 2-day tour in Moab, and they could fly back. And so that would be part of the tour. It'd be a junket flight from Denver to Grand Junction. And so it's easily done, but you're not going to have a lot of people on the tours. The reason you want to have the tours is you want to have a few known people that you can see, like Bruce Laybourne and Andy Hall and all those people. They're there, and Buddy and everybody else is there. They'd be in it, but it's going to be done in a virtual reality 3D video if we get the company coming from New Jersey that's interested in doing it, and that's published. And so every year the geology tours would be sold in a virtual reality thing that you can actually take the tour yourself. And as when Neil was doing it, he would point his camera of his phone, and Bobby would point at something on the rock. And so that was the basic first grade method of doing it. Now you have them on a drone where they can fly up the canyon and come in and look at the little pictal marks and stuff like that. That's a saleable product. And so by doing it, you're not doing it really so much for the 7 or 8, 9 people that are going to be there. They're going to have a great time, but you're doing it for the ones that live in Eurasia or India that want to see this, and then so you sell them the virtual reality tour. And so that's another big money making progress. And then what Bruce is doing with his weather reporting and showing that there's a big opportunity for that. And we have the products in Electric Universe already there and a centralized location to put them in. It's
They're
just a
going to
good
remember. They'll
opportunity.
remember Dinosaur. I mean, that's just that most people won't. That one will ring for people. So anyway.
Say dinosaur,
Absolutely.
or transformer.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And then you have the sign outside that says Earth Lapidary Company, and the logo under that says, or the caption is Electric Arc Rock. And so that sets the stage, the home of Obsession Stone,
Upheaval,
wonderment of Upheaval Dome, and you put all the pictures of Upheaval Dome there that correlate the Morrison Formation and how dinosaur bones are in the Morrison Formation more than, that's where the best bone comes from anywhere, is out of the Morrison. And most of our purple rock, we believe, comes from the Morrison Formation, and that's mostly a clay and silicates all mixed together, but it turns into an alceme, and how the hell does that happen? So all the things here is just a perfect deal. And I was just going out there today. I had been there a couple of days ago last week, but I want to go again today because one of my customers called this morning and she wants 30 bottles of silver, so I have to drive that out there to her. Anyway, so I just think that it's a good opportunity. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna
this
make another batch of that too. I'm sorry, Bruce. I got to make another batch of that because Dusty needs a gallon of it too, and I'm about out, so I got to make up another one here. So it's moving.
Wait. What's got Dusty with a gallon for? What's he doing?
He's got like 8 people, so he wanted to buy a gallon from me. So I got my last gallon here, other than my reserve one. So I'm making up another batch here.
Put me down for an order
it's like
too,
a
guys.
distillery.
But if you buy it by the
Intercoastal
gallon,
distillery.
it's less expensive, than if you bought 30 bottles.
It's Dusty.
Anyway, I don't care. Dusty's in our secret group, so he's okay. Anyway, so that's there, and so
got some great
this whole
Lichtenberg patterns right in the local vicinity here for sure. So.
Yesterday I was on the Electric View for a little while listening, and they were talking about the and Buddy was talking about the what do you call that, the fractals, the fractals and the Lichtenberg patterns and all that. Okay, and I wanted to say something and I couldn't get it in, and I don't like to just interrupt and blow it out there, but this was a question that I had. Maybe you can help me with this one. I was always wondering about how people that would have their leg cut off at the knee could feel pain in their toes. Their leg's gone, but they could feel the pain in their feet. They could feel
phantom
nerves and everything. And they call that a ghost limb or something like that. And I wondered if that Lichtenberg pattern that causes all of the cells to know where to go, I think your body follows the same thing. It follows that pattern. And when you cut your leg off physically, that energy pattern is still there. It is still there somehow, because you can still feel the nerves in your toes. You can sense that, but the nerve is cut off. So how the hell do you do that? And I think that invisible pattern is still there, and trees sort of grow, and they know where to go because of the pattern that's there already. For example, like rocks,
Pre-conscribed.
You've got roots going through the ground. They don't hit a rock and then move around the rock. They bypass rocks, like they know they're there. And if we're digging into a cliff, we come to a rock as people. We don't know which way it goes. We have to dig through the rock, where they go around it. But they never touch the rock like a vine and then go down or around to see. They bypass it, like by a half an inch, quarter inch. They don't even touch it. And this is far better. But it has been able to function big time ever since I've been doing it, except I never had the money to open up a store and to get rock cut and everything. I was out trying to get it all arranged and get the scientists in order to say what the hell was it, and that's where all the money went. So it was to develop the idea that I knew was there. It's there now. It's functions. It's provable. We have product that is being sold. It just ain't being sold fast enough, and that's just just push it out faster. So that would come, and if I could do what I want to do and raise the $120,000, that would purchase 4 tons of rock or 8,000 pounds. Now, 8,000 pounds of this rock is enough to fund every damn thing we got at $400 a pound. You'd have to add that up and see how much it is. That's a couple million. And so if that was put on the internet to sell, you're not selling a lot of rocks at 4 tons. You're out of it. You're going to have no more left in a year or so because people buy this and it's heavy. So this is just an impetus to get the whole organization funding itself without going out and having people just donate money. What that runs out. That's where the whole Thunderbolts is at right now. But if you can monetize the systems a little bit, that functioning money comes in. It makes it a lot easier to get your research and development money. It makes everything easier when you have a cash flow, even if it's not major. If we just did a little video to show about Obsession Stone and put it out on all the websites that want it, and started with Upheaval Dome and ended with our store and all the other story there, that works. That little photographic expose of 5 minutes would put this out there to everybody that's watching it. And right now, it's a 20-year effort.
Right.
This is important to know. It's a 20 to 25-year effort that at this point is still absolutely a secret.
Well, this is how you got to. How do you now? It's kind of the explosiveness of it feels like we're at that point where it's like the sonoluminescence. Okay, we're right at the focus, so that's why it's a little hot. But now, how's it expand?
Absolutely.
How's it expand out and expand out like in a way that's healthy? And it's ultimately that point of manifestation. It feels like it's actually happening. It's pretty amazing. So
Right.
so this is where we're at, I think. But now we have to shepherd it and lovingly bring it into manifestation.
I agree. And I will tell you this, I think that this has been an effort that has a design to it as visible as the lung in the tree. There has been a functioning pattern to this thing that I don't know how it got together with the team that we have on the phone right now and everybody else that's involved with this. I could not have done that. I couldn't have gone out and recruited those types of people to be interested in what I was doing. So that's the miracle of it, that Bill Cassidy and Shoemaker got involved, and now Bruce Laybourne's involved, and these are key people on the planet that I see.
Absolutely.
And if you all don't see it yourselves, it's because you're like me. I don't see it either. But
somehow Eugene has hung around this crazy crew, and he's just knocking them out of the park on Thunderbolts. This is amazing. So
I agree. Everything is happening fast, and we're going to get it done.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
The last,
Eugene.
What's that?
I was just saying congratulations, Eugene, on another great podcast there.
Thank you.
Oh, Eugene, I didn't know you were today. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm glad you are. I enjoy your work.
I love your philosopher presentation.
That was great. Yeah.
Funny as
shit. Just decided that April 1st is the perfect time to do something like that.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. I think comedy is key, by the way, in this. I think it makes it likable, and it makes people intrigued about it, and then as we get things organized, we'll have plenty of material to make it. I agree with you, Robert. It's like when it's pitched properly, the people resonate with it, and it's getting the materials together that we're all kind of happy with as we present them to other people. So.
Right. Well, I think that we'll have a store that has a variable line of products that's going to appeal to a lot more people than just Thunderbolts or Electric View.
I think it's fun because we set it up as it's this talisman kind of thing where it's like this is this is actually where we, you know, our storefront, but it also has all those the things about dinosaur. It's got dinosaur, and it's actually there, and it's got the old west. It's not pretentious, you know, but it's, I think it's great. I actually think but it ends up being like, here's the persona of of what it's about, and it's engaging to, I think, from a lot of angles. So.
I do too. And there's an awful lot of difference, a tremendous amount of difference between the scientific community and the lapidary people and the fossil people and the rock people.
Right.
Rock people don't like fossils. Fossils don't like rock.
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah.
knows. And so, but
But you can kind of bring them together, probably, right?
Yeah, this is what I mean. This lassos the whole damn group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have talked a long time, and I did incorporate.
It's great.
This
Really
more
nice
than
meeting.
I
thought so. So 8 o'clock. Anyone who wants to join tonight with Randy?
All right, I'll see y'all there tonight.
Great. All right. Thanks a lot. All right.
What is going to happen?
Oh, Randy is the he's the founder of this. He does drone tours, but he projects the image, which is a spherical video, onto a server, and then it can go out. So it's like a virtual reality tour. It goes to 5 headsets right now, but he's looking at doing it over the internet. So it's the potential to actually do geology tours virtually as telepresence to a large audience. So.
Cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool enough.
Yep. So.
Okay, I'm going to go get myself dressed and go deliver some silver and go see our store and try to convince
Enjoy.
the guy that
Hey, take some pictures.
Copper
Take pictures.
What's that?
Take pictures.
Don't step on any copper lights.
Yeah, look at the.
Yeah.
I would have shot
Don't
at that.
step-
I would have shot at that thing.
One time I kicked a piece of corpulite and broke my toe. I thought it was shit.
Some hard shit.
Anyways, gentlemen, for being scientists, y'all got that terrible sense of humor.
Right.
Talk to you later.
So-
Okay. Enjoy. Have a great day.
Okay, everybody.
Don't
thank you
be April fooled. Beware of
Mhm.
April Fool pranksters.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe someday I'll tell you the April Fool's Day I ran on my son.
Okay.
It was the best April Fool's ever. Maybe you could ask him about it one day.
Okay.
Anyways, it was a good one. It involved the FBI.
Ah.
Anyways, gentlemen, thank you very much and have a great day.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.